Hello, hello, and welcome. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Nutrition Lunch and Learn. And you are live with Sandra, your RDN, where every week I have the pleasure of dishing out your weekly dose of nutrition and wellness news for your mind, your body, and your soul. And I hope that you're having a great day, and I hope that your week is starting off great. All right. And for those who are listening live, I appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to take pause. Hopefully, you're having some lunch in joining in and tuning in. And I welcome and thank those who listen to the replay. And those who are listening to the replay, I encourage you to still ask questions, still comment, still chime in. I love engagement. I want this to serve as a two-way form of communication where we both are learning from each other. And so those who are listening to the replay, please feel free to tune in as well. Say who you are, where you're tuning in from. And so as you are tuning in live, do the same, introduce yourself, let me know that you're on. And we are continuing our week, our monthly series this month, as far as Falling in Love with Your Heart series, all right? February, all about love and all that grand stuff, right? And so this series is about protecting your heart, and it's to help you to stay strong and to add years to your life. And so today we are going to talk about dark chocolates, how to eat it and enjoy it the heart healthy way. There is a way to do it, all right? But let's share some surprising information. So every year, Americans spend about $22 billion on chocolate, consuming upwards of 12 pounds per person. So think about that over the course of a year. That's a lot of chocolate, right? And so Valentine's Day accounts for a decent percentage of that total as well. And so while a heart-shaped box of chocolates may seem the opposite of healthy, experts say it's less about the occasional small indulgences and more about making everyday good choices. So I say the 80-20 rule. And so what you're doing 80% of the time, what you do in that 20% typically will not derail, okay? If that 80% is what it should, okay? And so a bite of dark chocolate a day was not only good for your heart, but also improves brain function, alleviates stress, and lowers your risk of diabetes. Probably never thought about that. So calling all chocolate lovers, don't miss out. I am dishing out 3 benefits of dark chocolate for both your heart and your overall health. And then my Valentine's Day gift to each and every one of you. I'm sharing tips on how to find the best chocolate. And also I'm going to give you access to a wonderful recipe. Who doesn't like brownies? But I believe in having sweets with a purpose. And so these brownies are going to have a purpose. So stay tuned and you'll hear more about it. And so for those who do not know who I am Sandra Goldtree, and I'm a registered dietitian. I'm also a certified personal trainer and also your accountability partner. And my mission is simply to show people how to get food to work for them instead of working against them, okay? And thinking of food as the enemy, especially carbs. I take joy in adding a variety of foods back to a client's list so that they can lose weight, they can keep it off, and they can boost their energy and just overall feel great about yourselves without dieting and without deprivation. So it is all about setting and creating lifestyle changes that will last the long haul. And when it's time to get back on track, which we all need to get back on track, including myself, you actually know how to do it and you end that vicious cycle that comes with dieting and the frustrations of that. So it's all about breaking food strongholds and creating a lifestyle of change, okay? A lifestyle of self-care specifically. And so again, as you're tuning in, please say hello, tell me your name, where you're tuning in from, and are you a chocolate lover? That's what we're going to talk about tonight. We're Falling in Love with Your Heart series this month, and we're going to learn how to eat chocolate and enjoy it the heart healthy way. All right. And so my poll question, you guys know I always have a poll question. And so post if you are a chocolate lover. All right. What is your favorite form of chocolate? Okay. I will co-sign. I enjoy a homemade German chocolate cake. That is my favorite, absolute favorite. So I will indulge. And also I love brownies when they're made with dark chocolate as well. So there are ways to ease into it. If you're more of a milk chocolate person, there's ways to ease into it flawlessly. Okay. And so we are in a new year. So how consistent have you been with sticking with strategies that are designed to help you to lose weight? Well, is this your year? Is this your year to get healthier? Good news is I have a 5-day meal plan that you can access at no charge. And this plan is designed to help you to jumpstart your weight loss, feel your best, and really to increase your energy, give you a little sneak peek of what food can do for you instead of working against you. And it will help you to reduce your time at the grocery store as well as cooking, because you will have a nice grocery list and a prep guide to guide you along. So stay with me to the end and you will get more details. I'm going to give more details about that. But if you have to jump off a little early, then this is how you access it: www.actionchoices.com/jumpstart. And this way you can get a little sneak peek. And then you can always come back and listen to the replay if you have to jump off early. And so today's training, I'm going to share 3 benefits of dark chocolate for both your heart and your overall health. And before we close, I will help you find the best chocolate. How do you identify that? All right. So let's begin by simply, what is dark chocolate? Okay. What is dark chocolate? Let's see here. I'm looking for my banner. So what is dark chocolate? So dark chocolate is, the simple answer is, it's produced by adding fat to sugar and sugar to pure cocoa. Okay, that's the short answer. So you're adding fat, you're adding sugar to pure cocoa. Most chocolate falls into 3 categories. So you have milk chocolate, which is most common. You have dark chocolate, and then you have white chocolate. And so dark milk chocolate is most popular, and it's around 10% cocoa liqueur. So that's the pure cocoa mass in solid or semi-solid form. And then whereas you have your dark chocolate, which has a minimum of 35% of cocoa liqueur, and then the chocolate's darkness is determined by the portion of the cocoa solids made from cocoa beans mixed with cocoa butter and sugar. All right, so a lot of this healthy stuff, right? And then you have white chocolate, and so white chocolate only contains cocoa butter, and no cocoa butter or no cocoa solids or cocoa liqueur. Is a combination of just sugar and other ingredients. And so for many people, it's not really considered chocolate at all, but it's an option, right? And so now let's jump into a few heart healthy benefits, okay? And so the first benefit of dark chocolate is heart health, okay? So let's jump down here. Heart health. All right, and so here's some science, here's some info. So dark chocolate contains phytonutrients. And so phytonutrients are a substance that's contained in plants, which is believed to have benefits for human and to prevent various diseases, all right? And it's found in plants, and it's called flavonoids, right? Which are the plant chemicals that act as antioxidants. So when you hear antioxidants, think of cancer prevention, heart health, and weight loss. So these are all good things, basically, in a nutshell. And so it can lower lower not just your cholesterol, but lower your blood pressure and improve your cholesterol level. So this is a direct tie into the heart health piece of it. So it may improve blood flow, and which in turns will lower your blood pressure. Okay. And so flavonoids, which is like I said, the good stuff from plants in dark chocolate, can stimulate your endothelium. Okay. Which is the lining of your arteries, and it can produce nitric oxide, which is a gas. And what nitric oxide does, it signals to the arteries to relax, which lowers the resistance to the blood flow and therefore reduces your blood pressure. And so it varies from person to person, though. So don't just go out and start overindulging in dark chocolate if you have high blood pressure. Please don't do that, because you will gain weight. Okay. And so this is why plant-based foods such as whole grains, fruit, veggies are important in overall health, in an overall healthy eating pattern, in addition to lean protein, heart healthy fats, and low fat dairy. So we want to have a combination of all of that. It also raises your HDL, which I call your happy cholesterol, and it protects your LDL, which is the lousy cholesterol, from oxidation. And so oxidation is the breaking down of a chemical substance in the presence of oxygen. Okay, so this is what you want. So again, cancer prevention. And so it increases our good cholesterol, and the good cholesterol is what carries the bad cholesterol away from our heart. And then it protects the bad cholesterol from damaging other tissues, hence oxidation, such as the lining of the arteries of our hearts. So again, those are some of the benefits when it's eaten in moderation. And we're going to talk about that later. All right. And so it also reduces heart disease, risk of heart disease. All right. And so studies continue to show that compounds in dark chocolate appear to be highly protective against the oxidation of LDL, your lousy cholesterol. Remember, that's damaging the tissues. Okay. And in the long term, this should cause much less cholesterol to lodge in the arteries, resulting in lower risk of heart disease. All right. So let's do a poll. Okay. Before we go in there, let's take a breath. And post if you are surprised. Are you surprised to hear that some of these heart healthy benefits come from dark chocolate? Because a lot of times people just say, hey, it's still candy, it's still sugar, it's still fat. Is it healthy? So are you surprised to hear all of these benefits that you can achieve from dark chocolate? Or maybe you questioned its heart health benefits in the past. Do you still question them? So dark chocolate is a superfood, and it is also high in calories. So like 3.5 ounces, if you put it on a food scale, can come out to like 600 calories. Okay, so that's a lot. Okay, so you got to be careful in moderation. So to get the max benefit without gaining weight, I typically say limited to 1 to 1.5 ounces per day. So you're not going to have the chocolate by itself. You're usually going to pair it, or you should pair it with something else. So therefore, you will feel like you're getting, something that's satisfying. All right. And so those of you who are tuning in, chime in, say hello, where you're tuning in from, share what you're learning so far, any ha-ha moments, your favorite chocolate. And we are talking about how dark chocolate how you can enjoy it and improve your heart health. All right. And so the second benefit of dark chocolate is brain function. So a lot of times we do not think about brain function when we're talking about dark chocolate. And so it may improve cognition, it may prevent memory loss, and it also boosts your mood. Okay, that's a big one, boosting your mood. And so research is showing that chocolate stimulates neural activity in areas of the brain associated with pleasure and reward, and which in return decreases stress and improves your mood. So of course, lifestyle also aids into this. And so additionally, cocoa contains a stimulant substance like caffeine and theobromine, which Google it if you want to know what that is, theobromine, which is also the key reason why it can improve brain function in the short term. Okay. And so the amount of caffeine is very small compared to coffee and unlikely to keep you up at night, but there is some caffeine present. Okay. And so cocoa may also significantly improve your cognitive function in elderly people with mental impairment. So, and this is over time in addition to having a healthy overall eating pattern. So chocolate is not the magic bullet. If it was, I would overeat it also. Okay. And so let's do a poll here. So reply, is this new information? So were you aware that dark chocolate may improve cognitive function? Okay. Now I will repeat, this is in moderation to get the max benefit without gaining weight, limited to about 1 to 1.5 ounces of chocolate per day. All right. Or don't even have to do it every day, but at least when you have it, limited to 1 to 1.5 ounces. All right. And so if this is new to you, say, hey, this is new information that you're learning. And so let's kind of take a little break for a minute. Do you feel like you have tried every diet or that has been created under man? Okay. And then also after trying the many diets, are you frustrated and disappointed because it's almost like you're in the cycle of weight loss, weight gain, or many people are just stuck at a plateau with their weight, like they can't even lose anymore. And so it's definitely tiresome, okay, to always feel like you're not really seeing any real change, okay? Well, the good news is I have you covered in that department. I had talked about earlier my 5-day meal plan that I have created. It is very easy to follow, and it is a guide, and you will experience a surge of energy that will last you throughout the day, so you're not depending on sugar and caffeine. And it also has the benefits of having satisfying and delicious meals that will help you to keep your cravings at bay because you're feeling like you're actually enjoying your meals, and even during those stressful times of the day, right? Wake up feeling refreshed, energized, ready to start the day strong, okay? Of course, you need to also get adequate sleep, but they work together. So grab a copy, grab this plan. I'm gonna put it up here again. And you'll feel confident in your abilities to reach your weight loss goals and your health goals. This is a great first step in doing that, all right? And so download it at www.actionchoices.com/jumpstart. And by downloading this, you will have access to a recipe that I mentioned earlier, brownies, They are black bean brownies, okay? But you will not know that they are in there. So I am really serious. They are really great. And it's sweets with a purpose. So I have a weekly newsletter every Thursday. And in this week's issue, I will have a copy of the recipe. And you will also see a picture of a set that I've made or a batch that I have made. So definitely, trust me, you will not know it, and they taste great. Now I'm going to give some tips on how to maximize the flavors and the taste of these brownies towards the end. So let's go into the third benefit of dark chocolate and how it also improves your sugar levels, okay? Blood sugar levels specifically. And so dark chocolate could improve your blood sugar levels and reduce your risk of diabetes. Think about that, huh? Eating chocolate every day doesn't sound like the best way to prevent diabetes. Remember, you don't get diabetes by just eating sugar, okay? It's many more factors that go into that. But studies have shown that healthy amounts of dark chocolate rich in cacao could actually improve your body's metabolism which is how it breaks down glucose, okay? And so dark chocolate can also reduce insulin resistance, meaning that it will improve insulin sensitivity, which is another common risk factor for many diseases like heart disease and diabetes. And so most of the dark chocolate is very high in flavonoids. So remember, that's the good stuff that we get from plants, particularly a subtype called flavonols. Okay, and that is associated with lower risk of heart disease. And remember, it relaxes the arteries and it's going to lower the resistance of blood flow. So that's going to help lower your blood pressure. And so some studies suggest that dark chocolate or cocoa consumption is associated with lower risk of insulin resistance and high blood pressure in adults, okay? So again, all of this comes with lifestyle as well as self-care. There's no magic bullet, but a lot of things work together to reach the greater good of overall optimal health and weight loss, all right? And so poll time. So post or reply yes if you're thinking about adding some dark chocolate to your life, okay? So remember moderation to get the health benefits without the unwanted weight gain, and that's around 1 ounce, 1.5 on the high end per day. But again, like I said, you don't have to have it every day, but limit it to that amount per day. So if you're thinking about adding some dark chocolate, then do so. I recommend starting at 72% cacao. 70, you need at least 70% in order to get the health benefit. And so the higher the number, the higher the percentage of cacao, the more bitter it is. So 72, I would say, well, actually, I'm sorry, start at 60. There's one that's 60%. That's what I mean. 60% to start if you're somebody who's never had it, or maybe kind of so on the fence about how the taste of dark chocolate is. At least start at 60, get used to that, and then build up to the 72. Okay. That's one good way to build up to it. And so takeaway message. The takeaway. So common question is there a difference between cacao and cocoa? Okay. As a shopper, you can tell how much the cocoa liquor is. Remember, that is the pure cocoa mass that's in that dark chocolate bar by looking at the percent cacao. So that's what I was saying. Start up with 60% if you're used to milk chocolate. Look, my favorite candy is Snickers, so I understand about the milk chocolate. So 60%, that's the figure that you'll look at on the label to determine how much percentage of cacao is in there. And so it is the raw form of chocolate. So cocoa has been heated, and it's a heated version of cacao, okay? So the difference is the cacao is higher in protein and fiber and magnesium and iron, so it has more nutrients. The cocoa, without the added sugar, is still has some nutritional value, but however, it is typically cheaper. Okay, so your best bet is to choose, like I say, you want at least 70% or higher of cacao, and then bars that are lower will have more added sugar. So that's why I say start off at 60, because at least you're starting to titrate yourself to the 70% or higher. And so definitely try that out. And so that is you want to so train your palate. It's about training your palate. And so when you start at the 60%, you're working your way up to the 70, and eventually you'll find yourself enjoying that if you are a milk chocolate lover rather. And then even though the quality of dark chocolate is is a better choice than milk chocolate. It's still chocolate. So the calories are still high, the saturated fat is still high. So definitely be mindful of that. Again, recommend 1 to 1.5 ounces per day. All right. And so remember to grab a copy of, and I'm trying to put the banner up. My mouse is a little stuck here. So to access the 5-day, you access your 5-day meal plan to get the jump start. Also, that's going to give you access to the recipe for the black bean brownies, which are wonderful. I love them. And so when you get this 5-day meal plan, it's going to have the fast and easy recipes as well as a grocery list. And it's designed to give you a springboard. It's designed to naturally enhance your body's detox system. So you notice I didn't say it was a detox diet, but it is going to enhance your already present detox system, okay, your natural detox system. So you don't need to have a detox diet, okay? It's still a diet, all right? And so access it there. And then I like to call, like I said, sweets with a purpose, indulgences with a purpose. And so my 9-year-old loves them. And more importantly, they're made using dark chocolate, and you have the opportunity to take advantage of some heart health benefits. And again, start with 60% cacao if you want to shift easy, and then work your way up to 72%. Okay. I do recommend using a higher quality cocoa, such as Geraldata, premium baking powder, to improve the texture of it and also to improve the taste. Okay. I saw a difference. I used to use the Hershey's cocoa, but then I got kind of a tip to use the Geraldata chocolate, dark chocolate, and it made a huge difference. So it's definitely worth the investment. They make about 9 servings. They're very, very easy to make. They come in at around 275 calories per bar. So you can always cut it in half just to have the indulgence if you don't want to take the full 275 calorie hit. But it fits nicely as a dessert. It fits nicely as a snack. All right. And so post any questions, any comments, any aha moments, your favorite chocolate, anything in the thread. I will review the thread and I will respond. Okay. Especially those who are listening to the replay. So this concludes what I have for this week of your weekly dose of your nutrition news for your mind, your body, and your soul. And I'm Sandra, your RDN. Thank you for tuning in, both live and to the replay. Next week, we are going to continue with the Falling in Love with Your Heart series, and we're going to talk about blood pressure. So that's near and dear to me. Okay, those who follow me know that that is my story and my journey. And so how weight impacts blood pressure and tips on how to reduce stress on your heart. Okay, very, very important. So we're going to continue on our Falling in Love with Your Heart series. So thank you for tuning in. Bye for now. Have a wonderful rest of your day. And